The number game. I checked my phone again. Still nothing. For 12 whole months, Ethan hadn't sent me that number. The one he always sent before starting something new. 3 months was his limit. That's how long his toys usually lasted. But Haley Jenkins had lasted a full year. I knew because she showed up at my door. "My house," she said, pushing past my staff. "I need to talk to you." She stood in my foyer like she owned it. Her heels clicked against the marble. "Do you know what Ethan loves about me?" She tossed her hair back. I kept petting my cat. She didn't deserve my attention. "He loves how wild I am," she bragged. "You're too stiff." I stayed quiet. "No man could ever love a boring woman like you." I smiled at my cat. That was my only response. She left when I didn't give her anything else. The next morning, I made my move. I found a woman, 83 years old, severely disabled, incontinent for years. I paid her $3,000 a day. Then I delivered her straight to Ethan's office. "Your assistant told me you like them wild," I announced. I walked right into his conference room. The board members stared. Employees gathered in the hallway. I gestured to the old woman in the wheelchair. "This lady hasn't controlled her bladder since 2019. I patted her shoulder. "She's practically pickled in her own waste." The employees started whispering. Someone laughed. Ethan's face turned blue. "Get her out." He shouted at security. His men rushed forward. I stepped in their way. "I'm paying her $3,000 daily," I said. "That's my money." Ethan pulled out his phone. 2 taps. "I sent 30 million to your account." He looked at me coldly. "You're Mrs. Montgomery. Stop pinching pennies." Gasps filled the room. "You're rich," someone whispered. "If my husband gave me that much money, he could have 10 girlfriends." I laughed inside. Ethan always threw money at problems. He thought that fixed everything. But I married him for his wealth. And his face. That was the whole deal. I never cared who he slept with. But getting pregnant, that crossed my line. I scanned the crowd. "Where's Haley? I need to thank her personally." "She called in sick," someone murmured. I smiled sweetly. "Then I'll come back tomorrow." Ethan grabbed my wrist. He dragged me into his private office. I let him. No point burning bridges completely. Playing nice kept me in this marriage. He closed the door. His face was dark. "Why are you pushing this?" "Because Haley is pregnant." My voice trembled. I didn't expect that. The bitterness surprised me. Ethan froze. He clearly didn't know. I sneered at him. "Your little bird trapped you." "Pretty clever." Ethan unlocked his phone. He tapped again. "I'll make her get an abortion," he promised. "When?" "A week." 3 days. "She's young," he said softly. "She needs time." I heard the tenderness in his voice. He always thought I was easy to appease. Money and sweet words. That was all I needed, in his mind. Normally I wouldn't push. But Haley mattered to him. She actually held weight in his heart. I stepped closer. I reached for his lapel. A pink brooch caught my eye. He never wore tacky things before. Loving someone really changed a man. Maybe I should find someone too, just to burn off this energy. The longer you wait, the more it hurts her. I kept my voice calm. "I'm looking out for Haley's health." I smiled at him. "If you can't handle it, honey, I'll do it myself." "Don't you dare." Ethan gripped my wrist. His voice dripped with warning. I rarely saw him lose control like this. I wrenched my hand free. My gentle act dropped. 3 days, I said. "Clean it up." I looked straight at him. "Otherwise, I don't mind having blood on my hands." Ethan stared at me. He looked shocked. I saw something wild in his eyes. The obedient wife was gone. Years ago, Scarlett Vance was Manhattan's wildest red rose. That was before my mother died. Before my brother died. Before my father gave everything to his bastard son. I had nothing left. That's when I changed. But now he saw her again. The old me. Something sparked in his eyes. Novelty. He finally nodded. 3 days, he agreed. Good. Haley crossed the line. She needed to be handled. I turned around and walked out. The driver watched me in the rearview mirror. Where to? SS go. The driver looked surprised. I stayed expressionless. Ethan's credit card statements show he goes there often. I know what kind of place it is. Drive. We arrived at the club. The daytime crowd was thin. A handsome young host approached me. What can I do for you, beautiful? I'm looking for a man. He blinked. Then he flashed a charming smile. What about me? Do I fit the bill? I looked past him. Someone wiped a table in the corner. His side profile looked clean. Innocent. I pointed at him. The host pouted. Oh, him? He's just a college student. Part-timer. He doesn't know how to please a woman. He leaned closer. Play with me instead. I promise I'll take good care of you. I want him. I had a dirty man at home. I wanted something spotless outside. Ashton, the host called. The lady wants you. Ashton Pierce walked over. He hid the cleaning rag behind his back. He gave me a shy nod. He stood there stiffly, like a kid sent to the principal's office. Pure. Awkward. Completely out of his depth. Bring me your most expensive wine. Put it on my card so you get the commission. I slid my black Amex across the table. Ashton stared at it in shock. The host nudged him. What are you waiting for? Golden opportunity. Take it. Ashton took the card. He hurried to the bar. I flipped through a book left on the table. How to Win a Man's Heart. My phone started buzzing. Ethan. He'd just gotten the purchase alert. I declined the call. I shut my phone off completely. The driver's phone started ringing. He answered nervously. He put it on speaker. Ethan's cold voice filled the car. Bring her home. Now. Satisfaction washed over me. Are you this angry because you're worried I'll cheat? I asked into the speaker. Do you suddenly care about loyalty, Ethan? Dead silence. I looked down at the book. A woman must know how to act. Turn a drop of affection into a flood. Play victim. Play the fool. I decided to test it. I wasn't going to do anything bad, I said softly. My voice dropped into a vulnerable whimper. But this is your favorite place. I just wanted to learn what you like, so you might love me a little more. Ethan's tone softened instantly. Just come home. I continued my act, mixing truth with lies. No matter how good those other women are, you won't forget about me, right? On the other end, Ethan's throat tightened. He was driving too fast. He blew through a red light. His blacked-out Maybach had a custom plate. No cop would dare pull him over. Here's your wine. Ashton's youthful voice cut through the call. Ethan lost his composure. You have zero tolerance for alcohol. Don't you dare drink that. I picked up the glass. I took a long sip. My low tolerance was another lie. I could drink any man under the table. Ethan heard me swallow. Did you just drink it? Yes. The book said a slight buzz was perfect for intimacy. I didn't care about his affection, but I needed a child. Once I had one, I could get Ethan sterilized. Secure my future. Keep an eye on her, Ethan snapped at the driver. He hung up. Ashton handed my black card back. His fingers were warm. I took the card. I leaned back on the sofa. I waited for Ethan to arrive. Maybe it was the alcohol, but Ashton looked exceptionally pleasing. I asked casually, "Are you a virgin?" Ashton's eyes widened in sheer shock. His cheeks flushed deep crimson. He gave a frantic nod. Why, yes. The VIP room door kicked open. I immediately lay down on the sofa. I pretended to be utterly drunk. Ethan's rushed footsteps approached. His strong arms scooped me up. I told you not to drink, yet you did anyway. His voice carried frustration, but mostly worry. I mumbled my demand. I want a baby. I can give you one. You don't need Haley's. His footsteps halted. To keep his father happy, Ethan would return home occasionally, check off his husbandly duties. But I never wanted children. My own family background was too toxic. Until now. We'll talk about that after I handle Haley, he whispered. I didn't answer. I pretended to fall fast asleep. Ethan carried me to the villa. He tucked me into bed. He left immediately. I didn't waste any time. I took the 30 million Ethan gave me. I started shorting my father's company. Under my quiet manipulation over the years, his business was already on the brink. But I didn't just want it to struggle. I wanted them bankrupt. I wanted them to lose everything. Just like I did. The stock charts flickered on my laptop. Chaos. Just like my mind. 3 days later, Ethan returned. Without a single word, he dragged me to the bedroom. He leaned down and whispered in my ear, "Let's make a baby." He didn't mention Haley. I didn't ask. I simply wrapped my arms around his neck. Okay. Ethan was incredibly gentle tonight, like I was delicate porcelain. But I was highly active tonight. I tangled my legs with his. Haley was right. No man liked a boring, passive woman. Surprised by my sudden passion, Ethan let go. He turned wild, dominant. Hours of breathless intimacy. I was completely exhausted. He carried me to the bathroom. His fingers traced my brows, my nose. The bathroom was dead silent. Just our synchronized breathing. I couldn't even open my eyes. He carried me back to bed. But I knew Ethan too well. Something was off. The reason was obvious. Haley's baby was still alive. He hadn't kept his promise. He didn't bring it up. I didn't ask. That was the final piece of dignity, keeping this marriage intact. Every day, I sent Ethan a Snapchat message. "Are you coming home tonight?" His reply was always instant. Yes. Physical intimacy breeds affection. It seemed to be true. Ethan despised cooking, the smell of grease. But he started making dinner for me. He spent hours cuddling on the couch, watching mindless reality TV, wasting time worth millions. "I want to start working at the firm," I said one night. "Work is too exhausting," he replied. He stroked my hair. "Why not stay home? Be my pampered queen? Everyone serves you there." He was rejecting me. I didn't argue. I snuggled closer into his chest. "You work so hard for this family, honey. I got you a gift." Under his watchful eyes, I went to the closet. I changed into provocative lace lingerie. His eyes darkened instantly. Primal hunger flashed. He grabbed a plush blanket. He wrapped it securely around me. "You don't need to do this, Scarlett." I looked up with innocent eyes. "I thought you liked it. I just wanted to make you happy." Ethan knew I hadn't let go of Haley's words. Guilt washed over him. Tenderness, too. He gently cupped my cheek. He carried me back to bed. "I love you just the way you are." He kissed my forehead. "I'll arrange a position for you tomorrow. But once you get pregnant, you have to stop working." I wrapped my arms around his neck. I planted a soft kiss on his lips. I hid my triumphant smirk. I had successfully infiltrated his company. Now I could deliver the final blow. Ruin my father's business. But I didn't trust Ethan. Not completely. I had my own surveillance set up. Hidden cameras in the office. Keyloggers on his devices. I would know everything. Every move he made. And when he slipped, I'd be ready. I checked my phone as he slept. The hidden cameras were working. I had footage from his private office, from his car, from his backup apartment. I saw everything. I saw him visit Haley yesterday. She was crying. He was holding her. I heard him whisper promises. "I'll take care of you," he said. "Just give me time." I watched him stroke her hair. "Scarlett doesn't need to know." I pulled up the evidence files. I already had 27 folders. Surveillance photos, bank transfers, hotel receipts, text message screenshots, bastard child, contract breach, marital infidelity, I could ruin him, but I needed more. I needed his company, his assets, everything. Then I'd strike. The next morning, I made breakfast. Eggs, bacon, fresh coffee. Ethan looked surprised. You cook now? I'm practicing, I said. For our baby. He smiled. That was a first. I'll be at the firm today, he said. Come at noon. I'll introduce you. I can't wait. I handed him his coffee. He kissed my forehead. 3 months, he said. That's all I need. For what? He hesitated. To prove to you that I can change. I smiled sweetly. I believe you. I didn't. When he left, I went to my laptop. I pulled up the financial records. Ethan had been siphoning money, not from the company, from my trust fund. My mother's inheritance, the one I thought was safe. I scrolled through the numbers. He'd taken 7 million. Slowly, quietly, over years. I clenched my fists. My mother's money. He hid it in offshore accounts. Accounts I didn't have access to, but I would. I smiled. Now I had leverage. At noon, I walked into the firm. The receptionist smiled nervously. Mrs. Montgomery. Mr. Montgomery is waiting. I followed her to the executive floor. Ethan stood by the window. He looked important. Amy, he said. This is my wife. A woman stepped forward. She looked professional. Sharp suit. Tight bun. Nice to meet you, she said. I shook her hand. Her grip was cold. I'll be overseeing your training, she said. Thank you. Something in her eyes unsettled me. Dislike. Or was it jealousy? Ethan wrapped an arm around me. She's brilliant, he said. She'll learn fast. I nodded. You know, I said, Amy and I can have lunch together. Get to know each other. Ethan blinked. He looked uneasy. Of course, he said. Amy forced a smile. Lovely. Lunch was tense. Amy picked at her salad. So, she said, how long have you been married? 5 years. Any children? No. Not yet. She smiled tightly. Maybe you should wait. I raised an eyebrow. Excuse me. Ethan and I work closely together, she said. He needs someone fully committed. A child would be distracting. I laughed. Not a happy laugh. Distracting. Is that what you think? She leaned forward. I think you should know. She slid her phone across the table. A photo. Ethan. Amy. Together. A hotel room. Ethan's arm around her waist. My smile froze. When was this? Last week. Amy looked smug. He didn't tell you, did he? I stared at the photo. Ethan's wedding ring was on. He wore it. Even with her. I handed the phone back. Thank you, I said. I smiled. Now I know. Amy's smug look faltered. You're not upset. I'm focused, I said. I took a sip of water. My marriage is my concern. Amy looked confused. Ethan doesn't love you, she whispered. I know. She blinked. He chose Haley, I said. Not me. Not you. And now you think he'll choose you? I leaned forward. He won't. I stood up. Goodbye, Amy. Thanks for the lunch. I walked away. My hands were shaking. I took a deep breath. New plan. I needed to get to the offshore accounts, but I needed access. Ethan's passwords. His biometrics. I needed to get close. Closer than ever. That night, I wore the lingerie again. Ethan was working in his study. I knocked softly. Busy. He looked up. His eyes widened. Scarlet. What are you? Let's make tonight about us, I said. I walked toward him. I sat on his lap. His hands went to my waist. Are you okay? He asked. Perfect, I whispered. I reached for his laptop. Can I show you something? Of course. I opened the browser. I typed in his password. Montgomery 1980. He didn't stop me. I pulled up the account. The offshore transfers. He saw the screen. His eyes narrowed. "What are you doing?" "Looking at my mother's money," I said. He froze. "You took 7 million," I said. "From my inheritance." "It was for us." "Us! To build our future." I laughed. "That was my mother's money. Her legacy." Ethan grabbed my wrist. "You're not going anywhere with this." "I know." I smiled. "I'll forgive you." He stared at me. "But I want equal access," I said. "Joint authorization. On all accounts." "That's not." "Or I go to the SEC." His face paled. "Scarlett." "Joint authorization," I repeated. "Or you lose everything." He released my wrist. His hands were shaking. "Fine," he whispered. I got the access. I moved the money, all of it, back to my accounts, plus his, all 38 million. I smiled at my laptop. One down. Next step. The company. I needed control. Ethan had a board meeting tomorrow. I had something better. Hidden documents. Embezzlement. Fraud. I held them all. One phone call. One anonymous tip. And Ethan Montgomery would fall. But I waited. Patience. Always patience. 3 months later, I was pregnant. Ethan was thrilled. Haley had already miscarried. I knew that. I also knew why. I had paid for her abortion. Bribed her with $50,000. She took it. She was gone. Ethan never knew. He thought he lost the baby naturally. He held me tighter. "Now we can start fresh," he said. "Now we can build something real." I nodded. I smiled. And I prepared my exit. The evidence was ready. The money was gone. The company was almost mine. 1 more month. And I would disappear. Start over. Somewhere warm. Somewhere beautiful. Without him. Without anyone. Just me. My baby. And my mother's money. But the night before my plan, I saw something. Ethan's private messages. A encrypted chat. He was talking to someone. "Scarlett doesn't suspect," he typed. "I have everything under control. She'll sign the papers tomorrow." The other person responded. "How does she not know?" "I'm too good," Ethan replied. I scrolled up. Months of messages. He knew about the money. He knew about the evidence. He had his own plan. He was going to frame me. Give me all the liability. Take everything. I closed the laptop. My heart was pounding. He wasn't stupid. He never was. I needed to move faster. Tonight. Tonight I disappear. I packed one bag. My cat. Documents. Cash. I left the rest. I didn't need it. The car was ready. Driver waiting. We drove to the airport. Private terminal. My plane was fueled. Ready to go. I looked back. The city lights glittered. Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Manhattan. Goodbye, old life. I boarded the plane. I buckled in. The engines roared to life. I took out my phone. One last message. "You'll never find me." I sent it. Then I powered off. And I smiled. The plane lifted off. Free. The hunt begins. I landed in a small island. No name on the map. Just sand and sun. I rented a villa near the beach. White walls. Blue shutters. Quiet neighbors. Perfect. My cat stretched on the terrace. She liked it here. I checked my phone. Ethan's messages flooded in. "Where are you? You can't hide. Scarlett. Answer me." I deleted them all. I swapped my SIM card. New number. New identity. I went by Sarah now. Sarah Vance. My mother's maiden name. Felt right. 3 days passed. I thought I was safe. Then I saw the van. Black. Tinted windows. Parked 2 blocks away. It hadn't moved. I pulled the curtains. My heart raced. He found me. How? I checked my surveillance. Hidden cameras around the villa. No one approached. But the van stayed. Watching. Waiting. I called my contact. Mason. Former military. He handled security now. Someone's outside, I whispered. Description. Black van. Tinted. Parked on Palmetto. Mason was quiet. Then he cursed. Scarlet. That's not Ethan. What? Your father's men. I recognized the vehicle. My blood went cold. My father. I thought he was broke. He is. But someone's funding him. Who? Don't know yet. But they're looking for you. I hung up. I grabbed my bag. My cat. I ran to the back door. I drove to the marina. Faster. Faster. My hands were shaking. I rented a boat. Small. Fast. Enough to reach the mainland. I paid in cash. No questions asked. I pushed off. The water was rough. I didn't care. I just needed to disappear. I checked my phone one last time. A message from Mason. Ethan sent them. It's a bounty. He wants you dead. I dropped the phone. Into the water. It sank. No trace. I reached a coastal town. Gray skies. Cold wind. Different from the island. I found a motel. Paid for a week. I looked in the mirror. My hair was wild. My eyes were hollow. I looked like someone else. Good. I made new plans. New identity. Again. This time, I had help. Mason sent someone. A woman named Andrea. Former CIA. She could forge anything. Passports. Birth certificates. Credit cards. I gave her cash. Lots of it. It'll take 2 days, she said. I'll wait. She nodded. Stay inside. Don't go out. I locked the door. Andrea came back in 1 day. Faster than promised. Bad news, she said. Ethan put a hold on all accounts. I still have cash. He's also hired private investigators. 3 agencies. I felt my chest tighten. Where do I go? New place. Small. Off the grid. She handed me a key. Montana. Cabin in the woods. I'm pregnant, I said. She looked at my stomach. Even worse. They'll track you through medical records. I hadn't thought of that. Then I won't see a doctor. Scarlet. That's dangerous. I don't care. I drove to Montana. 3 days on the road. I stopped for gas once. I bought canned food. Water. Supplies. I avoided people. The cabin was remote. No cell service. No internet. Perfect. The first night was quiet. Just the wind. And the trees. I lit a fire. I held my cat. I thought about Ethan. Why did he want me dead? He had the money. He had the company. What else did he need? Then I heard it. A twig snapping. Outside. I grabbed my knife. I crouched by the window. A man stepped out of the shadows. I recognized him. Mason. What are you doing here? I whispered. He raised his hands. Peace. I came to warn you. Warn me about what? Ethan knows about Andrea. My heart dropped. He found her. Made her talk. Where is she now? Mason's face was grim. Dead. Scarlet. I'm sorry. I fell to my knees. Andrea was my last hope. Now she was gone. You need to move, Mason said. Tonight. Now. I can't. I'm tired. He grabbed my arm. You don't have a choice. We drove through the night. Mason knew a place. Old bunker. Military. Hidden underground. Stay here, he said. Wait for my signal. How will I know? Radio. I'll broadcast at midnight. He left me there. Alone. Dark. Cold. 3 days passed. No radio signal. I started to panic. I had enough food for a week. But my water was low. My stomach cramped. The baby. I needed food. I needed rest. I needed to think. On the 4th night, the radio crackled. Scarlet. Are you there? Mason's voice. Static. Broken. Come to the old farmhouse. 2 miles east. The signal died. I hesitated. It could be a trap, but I had no choice. I walked through the forest, cold, wet. My legs ached. My back hurt. I reached the farmhouse. The door was open. Inside, a single lamp, a table, a letter. I unfolded it. Scarlett, I know you're reading this. I also know about the baby. My baby. Our baby. Come home, Scarlett. I won't hurt you. I promise. I laughed. A hollow laugh. His promise meant nothing. I ripped the letter. I walked back into the forest. But I couldn't go back to the bunker. Mason was compromised. Probably dead. I was alone again. I walked until dawn. I found a small town. Population 200. I found a church. The priest let me stay. I rested. I prayed. I didn't believe in God, but I needed something. That night, I had a dream. My mother. She was young. Beautiful. She was smiling. Run, Scarlett. Don't stop. I woke up crying. I left the church. I found a bus station. I bought a ticket. Anywhere. Somewhere far. The bus came. I got on. I didn't look back. 3 days later, I arrived in Chicago. Big city. Anonymous. Easy to hide. I found a women's shelter. They helped me. New clothes. New documents. New life. I started working at a diner. Waitress. Cash only. No trail. I rented a small room above the diner. Old. Cramped. But safe. I started making moves. Wiring money through underground channels. Sending encrypted messages to someone who could help. Someone who hated Ethan. His ex-business partner. Daniel Croft. Ethan ruined him. Took everything. Now Daniel wanted revenge. We were perfect allies. Hello, Scarlett. I received a coded message. It was Daniel. Ethan is in Paris. Business trip. Perfect, I typed back. Let's make our move. I flew to Paris. New identity. New passport. I looked different. Short hair. Glasses. Dark clothes. I was invisible. Daniel met me at the airport. He looked older. Tired. But his eyes were sharp. Ethan is at the Ritz, he said. His meeting with investors. I'll get in. How? Simple. I'll walk through the front door. I dressed for the evening. Gown. Heels. Diamonds. No one recognized me. I walked into the Ritz lobby. I saw Ethan. He was laughing. Drinking champagne. Surrounded by rich men. I walked past him. I didn't look back. I followed him to his suite. I waited. He came in alone. I stepped out of the shadows. Hello, Ethan. He froze. Scarlett. Miss me? He turned pale. How did you find you? Easy. I can explain. Don't. I held up my phone. A recording. Our entire conversation. I'll leak this, I said. Your investors will hear everything. You won't. Watch me. He lunged at me. I ducked. I ran. Out the door. Down the stairs. Into the street. I disappeared into the crowd. I took the next flight. Out of Paris. Out of Europe. I flew to Australia. Perth. Quiet. Isolated. I found a small beach house. I hid. I waited. 2 months passed. I had the baby. A girl. I named her Hope. She was perfect. I looked at her small face. I made a promise. You'll never know him. You'll never know any of this. Just peace. Love. Safety. But Ethan didn't stop looking. I knew that. He never gave up. Neither did I. I started building again. Small business. Online. No names. No paper trails. I made money. Quietly. Slowly. I sent messages to Daniel. We planned. We waited. We watched. Then I found it. The final piece. Evidence. Ethan's criminal network, money laundering, drug trafficking, human smuggling. He was worse than I thought. I gathered everything: emails, photos, bank statements, testimonies. I put it all in one file. The truth about Ethan Montgomery. I sent it to the FBI. Anonymous tip. I included everything. They opened an investigation. 3 weeks later, Ethan was arrested. I watched on the news. He looked broken, handcuffed, led away. I smiled. The trial was quick. He didn't fight. Too much evidence. He was sentenced. 20 years. No parole. I sat in my living room. Hope slept in my arms. I was free. Finally. But I knew this wasn't the end. Ethan had allies, enemies, people who wanted him out, people who wanted me dead. I looked at my daughter. I held her close. Stay strong, I whispered. We'll survive this. Together. I moved again. New country, new name, new start. I became someone else. Someone without a past. Someone invisible. But the hunt never stopped. Not truly. It was always there, waiting. Just like Ethan was waiting. Just like the truth. I looked out the window. The sun was rising. Beautiful. Red and gold. Like a new beginning. I touched my stomach. The baby was gone, but the scars remained. The trauma. The fear. The anger. I decided. No more running. No more hiding. I would fight. For myself. For hope. For the future. I called Daniel. Let's finish this, I said. Finally. He was quiet. Then he answered. I'm ready. We planned the final blow. Ethan's empire. Every last piece. Destroyed. I visited him in prison. One last time. He was shocked. Scarlett. You're alive. Yes. Why did you come? To tell you something. What? I leaned in close. You lost. Everything. Forever. He screamed. I walked away. I didn't look back. Outside, the sun was bright. I smiled. I was free. Finally, truly free. I went home. Hope was waiting. She smiled. I held her close. We were safe. We were together. We were free. I checked my phone. A message from Daniel. All accounts frozen. Assets seized. His done. I typed back. Thank you. Then I turned off the phone. I looked at Hope. I kissed her forehead. Time to start living, I whispered. Time to be happy. But I knew one thing. The truth always finds you. Even when you run. Even when you hide. It always finds you. I looked in the